All right, Professor Dickweed, what's the plan?
That just came out. I showed you that song. You
That's
said
a
you
good
fucked with
song.
it. Yeah,
That's a good song.
that was pretty good.
If y'all never
Right.
Our manager is trying to.
our manager.
Yeah, pretty much.
That guy has some fucking bangers, bro.
Kay drew that, guys.
Johnny
Yeah, Cade drew that.
Johnny Cash.
just-
Not really. He did not. He did draw the one on the right, though. Is that y'all's right?
That's significantly more shit. Yeah. I drew that in an hour, so don't hate.
Is that intended to be a left eye or a right eye on
It's
that?
definitely
It's in the placement of where their left eye would be, but it looks like the right
a
eye.
Cyclops.
I think I just drew it to be like, I don't know.
Is it like an omniscient eye?
Yeah.
Sees everything.
Yeah. Oh, dude, I was talking to my friend about opening like my third eye and shit, and it scared the fuck out of me because she was like analyzing me, and she was like basically telling me that like my third eye is already like partially opened, and like that's why I'm so like I'm so like tapped into everything, and she was like, your third eye is like almost opened.
Do you think the fact that you're deaf helps you with that?
Yes, absolutely. Like on some real, like if you really want to get into some real spiritual freaky shit, I do think that my third eye is like about to like be like fully aware.
But what would be the difference? I'm not understanding.
What do you mean?
What's the difference? Like what happens?
When you completely open your third eye,
Yeah.
it's like when you're more in tune to the world and like the source of all power, which some people call it you can call it God, you can call it source.
See, I feel like you can't believe in that kind of stuff, and like
I feel like it's the same thing. I feel like it's God. That is God.
but like
What do you mean? I don't have a dictionary.
check it.
I don't have a dictionary definition.
Whoa, don't ask
Colin,
me to fact check.
I'm
Okay,
just,
go ahead, ask your question.
I
Yeah,
really-
I'll see what I can do.
I really don't feel like spirituality and like because like spirituality, it's more of like it's like a divine power. It's not like a god.
I feel like God is divine power.
Well, it depends. So, religiously, there's the Holy Spirit, like Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. That's a spirit.
Yeah.
Or
right?
Allah.
There's,
or whatever.
we all have souls.
Yeah.
Right? So, to say that you can't be spiritual and religious, I feel like you're contradicting yourself.
Yeah, I feel like the same thing. For me,
I feel
at
like a huge part of religion is the spiritual aspect. Like the whole point of religion is to try to,
Explain the unexplainable.
Yeah, like get closer to, your creator and to as far as like your soul goes, not necessarily your body.
But
Yeah,
the ways of getting closer to God are a lot different than the ways of getting closer to there's no.
That's what I'm talking about,
Nobody's
though.
teaching you how to open your third eye in Sunday school.
Exactly.
Well, that's true.
Well, but that's what I'm
And
saying.
I don't
think
have
it's
the
just a
answers
different
for all
path.
that.
I think it's
You
just a different
can't-
path for me. I think
But
it's
see,
the
the
same.
thing is that all religion is man-made. So for one guy to be like,
sure.
yeah, mine's right and yours is wrong, you don't know what you're talking
Exactly.
about.
I agree.
You have no idea.
I
Unless
agree.
you're extremely, extremely educated in theology, then you can't really go around being like, oh yeah, this is right and this is wrong. And even if you are, the book was still written by people.
Yeah.
There's parts of the Bible that are like in modern versions that are not included that are in original versions.
And just like we
So
talked about with music, though, it's like it hits everybody from different angles. There's no right or wrong way to interpret.
There's no right way to
There is a
become
wrong
more
way.
spiritual or become closer to your creator, whoever you choose to believe.
But in,
Yeah.
in
So
Christianity,
there's no
there is
right
a
or wrong way.
Well,
Such
that's-
as
defying your parents.
You mean like breaking the Ten
Stealing.
Commandments?
that's
Doing
that's
any-
not.
I'm not
that's
talking about
not-
Christianity. I'm talking about my own form of like belief system, which isn't really Christianity. I mean, I have remnants of Christianity within my like spiritual like mindset, but for me, it's not the end all be all. It's not Christianity. It's like just knowing God and like the Creator. And I feel like with me, it's not some dictionary definition or even Sunday school definition of God. It's my own personal like spiritual essence that I feel. You know what I mean? And so it's like I can like so when I meditate or when I meditate or some people call it pray or when I am, in that state of just like trying to open up my spirit and trying to like open up to the world and the universe
Those
around
are two
me.
totally different things.
See, you were wrong by saying that. You're wrong by telling me that I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying?
I'm not telling you that you're wrong. I'm saying that
What do
praying.
you mean?
I'm saying praying and meditating are two totally
See, I
different
think that's what
things.
people think, but I
I
think
don't
that's
see-
where
I
people
don't
get
see-
misconstrued.
I don't
I think
see-
that meditation and prayer are actually the same thing. They're just told by two definitions because people don't understand.
I don't know that
the same thing.
I don't know that they're the same thing, but I definitely don't think that you can have one and not have the other. And like, I don't think that they're contradictions in themselves. I think that you can do both.
I think they do the same thing. I think that prayer is a fancy word for meditation because when I meditate, I'm sitting there basking in the power of the creator, of the source of all the universe. And see, Christians would say like, oh, that's prayer. And like, you know, and then Buddhists would say, oh, that's meditation. But I think that they are incoherently the same thing.
But I think that like praying is like asking, is sitting there asking for something like, oh, hey, can I get this, and this?
No,
See, I
that's
think
not-
that you're. I
that's
think
not
that you're
praying.
very. I think that you're very
That's
caught
not
up.
praying. You
I think
can't. You think of it as people only pray whenever they want something. And see, I know. See, not to get dark on you boys or nothing, but I had whenever I was like in 7th grade, 8th grade, some shit like that. We had I had a cousin, my first cousin. We're all very close. We hang out all the time, you know. And she actually got in a boat wreck with her dad, my uncle, and her little sister, my other cousin.
Oh, I've heard this story.
Right. And so the older one ended up not making it, right? And the younger one was like really injured. And they flew her to Houston. And me and my family just happened to be in Houston. My little brother was playing baseball there. And so we met my younger cousin at the hospital. Well, the whole time we're on the way to the hospital, you know, we're all religious. We're praying that, because they couldn't find my older cousin. They couldn't find her at first and had no idea where she was. So we were praying the whole time that they were going to find her. She was going to be okay, you know, all this stuff. And I wasn't worried about it because, you know, I'm a little kid, grew up religious and everything. Like, oh, we prayed about it. Everything's going to be all right, right? Like, they're going to find her and stuff. And she ended up not making it. And not to get like, I'm not going to get all detailed into it, but she didn't make it. And so for a while, I struggled with that, with my, you know, religion and all that. Like, you know, what they always say is like God's plan is perfect.
Yeah.
Right. And just because you don't know what it is and you don't understand it, that's kind of what I think praying is for, is to try to understand it better. Because the thing is, like, we asked for her to be okay. She wasn't. So that must not be part of his plan.
Yeah.
Now, what I took from that is whenever you pray, you don't ask for things, right? You don't ask for things to happen. You don't ask for objects. That's not really what it is. Whenever I pray, I say, like, hey, you know, thanks for all these blessings I have. Thanks for all the good in my life. You know, the people, you know, the things I have, stuff like that. I'm thankful for that. And then if something's going on that I don't understand or something that's negative in my life, I ask for strength to be able to handle that.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
You ask for the tools, not for the not for the
result. Right.
Exactly.
Right. So people, like, if you don't, and I don't really know your religious background, but if you don't, if you're not avidly like a part of that and a part of, you know, church and religion and stuff, I feel like you can have like a warped sense of, you know, what praying is and what people want to get.
I grew up in a Baptist household. Like, yeah.
So
like
there's a
I went
difference
to
between
church.
like, hey, I want a bike, or like, hey, you know,
Hey, I'm not
like
striking down your religion.
Yeah, no, I'm
Whenever
just saying
like,
that, like, whenever you say like, oh yeah, you're praying, and you like, I want this, that's what praying is. That's not what praying
Then
is.
tell me what
guess-
you think. What do you think that praying is? Like, and what's the difference between prayer and meditation? Because you said they're two different things. I really want to know what you mean by that.
Because, like, okay, whenever I went to church as a kid, like, you know, we're gonna do our prayer. Does anybody else want to include anything? And they're like, oh, hey, can I, you know,
Pray for my mom or something.
Yeah, or like something like that. And I just like, I feel like there's that, and then there is like meditation where you're just kind of like, you are trying to just be completely right, like, or just like completely not right. I mean, like, just completely all right with everything going on around you. Like, it doesn't matter what happens because you understand that everything around you does have a meaning and purpose and stuff.
See,
like
to me,
that.
I think that prayer is like the same thing, though. Like, I feel like that's I feel like
I feel like prayer
really
is
the same thing.
communicating with your creator in any way you
Exactly.
choose.
And I feel like meditation, maybe prayer is like a conversation with the creator, and meditation is more like just I'm trying to soak in
Just
the
be
presence.
with-
I'm trying to
yeah.
soak in the presence of the
Be
creator.
in the presence, yeah.
But I think that those are like, because
those are like kind of the same thing. It's basically praying without talking.
yeah, because
But,
when
like-
I do pray, I'm not just sitting there being like, dear God. I'm like, I'm trying to feel omnipotence. I'm trying to feel.
Right.
I'm trying to feel the presence of something. I'm
Okay.
not just sitting there being like, oh, I am sitting here with my legs crossed and I'm just humming. Like, that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying I'm trying to be sound and whole with the entire universe. I'm trying to
Yes.
feel it all in my soul. But the thing one thing I really do like about Christianity though is the art of surrender. I feel like that is a thing that a lot of people don't understand about Christianity. It's not so much that you're like, oh, here's the 10 Commandments. You disobey these, straight to hell. I feel like that's a misconception that people have about Christianity. I feel like Christianity is the art of surrender and the art of realizing that nothing's truly in your control. And whether you want to call it God's plan or like the will and power of the universe.
I mean, we have free will.
Exactly. But all I'm saying is
But
that
how? Well, hold up.
Because you can choose to do what you want.
Okay, but you're saying that your God.
I see the
has a
contradiction.
power. Like,
Oh, no.
God has a plan, but
No.
you also have free will.
Yes.
I'm with you.
So
I'm with
you're-
you.
you're-
But so
you're-
what?
but
The
God has a
conclusion
plan
I came
for
to.
what you're going
Right.
to be in 30 years.
I see what
right?
you're saying.
So it doesn't matter what you want right now.
I see what you're saying, and I'm with you because I have those same thought. I have the same question, same like, hey, that doesn't really make sense.
Yeah.
But the conclusion I came to was that I look at God's plan as being like kind of like a whole like bigger picture type thing. You know what I'm saying? And like the small stuff, like the whether I choose like punch you in the face right now, like small stuff, is like that's not really. He's not really like controlling whether or not, you know what I'm saying?
No, I think that it's all about perception. And so I think that the whole God's plan thing makes sense because a human being we're only capable of perceiving so much. And if there's some omnipotent being or creator or the universe or Allah or Buddha, whatever the hell you want to call it, I just think that their idea of perception and their scope is so much larger than what a human being is capable of. And so it's impossible for us to it'd be impossible for us to fully understand the capacity.
Yeah, you're not capable of.
Do you believe in like manifestation and shit like that?
Absolutely.
How are you going to manifest stuff if?
Explain to me the difference between manifesting something and praying, asking for something.
Because they're both talking out loud. They're both speaking stuff into existence.
Manifesting something
So look,
is like putting.
I think that you get so caught up on definitions that you lose sight of what you're actually doing. You know what I mean? You're like manifestation's this, prayer is this, meditation's this. I think
you're
that
not seeing the similarities and like how they're the same thing because like you gotta think about it.
No,
so God,
I completely do.
So religion is like ask and you shall receive, right? Now it may not necessarily mean, hey bro, I want this bike. And like the next day you get a bike in your front door, like
it's the
unexplained.
same thing with manifestation.
Right. So it's the same thing. So like asking you shall receive, that's like a praying and manifesting thing to be the same. So people are like, oh yeah, manifesting is evil. That's evil. I'm like, you're not understanding what you're talking about.
But what I'm saying is like people like spirituality and Christianity, and they're two separate things.
What do you mean? I don't think that makes sense, dude. I really don't think it makes sense.
You think that they're the same thing?
I think that spirituality, and not just Christianity, but all religions consist of spirituality. I feel like that is what religions are. So for you to sit here and tell me that they're separate things, it doesn't really make sense to me at all. Because I feel like spirituality. Hold up. Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hey, are you spiritual?
Oh my god.
What do you think they're gonna fucking?
They're probably gonna say yes.
Yeah, I think that being.
If you ask me, I would say yes.
Being religious and spiritual. I feel
it's
like
not
it's
two different things.
It's
actually very much the same thing.
I feel like it's the same thing. It's the exact same thing. Because if you're religious, that means that you're connecting your spirit to something that's external from you, something that is, a universal source of power and creation. And so if I was like, hey, I'm a spiritual person and I believe in said religion, that they're not exclusive to each other. You see what I'm saying? I feel like it's all part of one big circle.
Okay, 100%. But what I'm saying is, spirituality has nothing about marriage.
I feel like you're just so caught up on Christianity.
Because
I'm not talking about Christianity.
100%, because it's not like spirituality is just like a common ass thing. It's not like everybody just knows about their third eye. Everybody just knows about their chakras. Like it's not something that's just common.
I'm not saying it's common.
So like for you to say that it's just like, oh, it's the same thing. People just think like same people that are Christian are spiritual. It's not like it's.
I'm not saying I can't speak for everyone. I can't speak for everyone.
Because if I went up to like my parents or something and I was like, because they're very religious. They believe they believe in Jesus Christ and all that, and like that's their savior and stuff like that. If I told them I was spiritual, they would think that I'm like fucking. But here's the thing, praying to rocks and shit like that.
But no, I don't think so.
Okay,
I wouldn't think that.
I think that you're using your own personal experience to like define things. I think that your personal experience is helpful to understanding certain things, but I don't think it's the end all be all of things. Because I was growing up And I grew up in a Baptist household, and then I converted to Catholicism with my mother at the age of 12. And so I went through RCIA classes, and I actually had to like relearn the Catholic teachings. And I also knew a lot about the Baptist teachings. I went to Sunday school like every Sunday, and I understood the contrast between Baptist and Catholicism. And then I understand the contrast between Buddhism and Catholicism because I started reading into that in my later years of life. And the more I read about different religions, the more I understand that people have this, like, they have a knack for picking a team. I feel like that is why division is so apparent, like whether it's like Democrat, Republican, communist, socialist, whatever it may be. Every human beings were tribal species, and so everybody wants to pick a team, and then if you're on another team, it's like, fuck you, my team's better. I think that's a very flawed way of thinking. I think that if we viewed it more, no, I'm not coming at you at all right now.
Well, who do I say fuck?
I'm not saying that you
I'm
say
not.
fuck
I'm not.
people.
No, I'm not coming at you at all. And I'm saying that I see things as pretty much. I see things as being universally connected, whether we understand it or not. And I think that everybody, and I think that people that are on like opposing ends of like the system. You ever hear that thing where it's like if you're so far apart from each other, you might meet in the middle somewhere. It's like I think that people get so caught up, worried about their like team, whether it be their religion or whatever, that they fail to understand another person's point of view because they're like, fuck your team, my team's better.
Well, do
you understand what I'm trying to say?
I completely believe. I think that all religions are all right. I think that they all have some sort of right in them, and that like
that's my point. Yeah, that's what
every
I'm
single
saying.
person's gonna go to the same place whenever we die. I don't know where it is or what it is or anything like that, but like I think every person's gonna go to the same place.
Okay.
Everybody's gonna be where they want to be whenever they die.
I don't know about that one. I think
Where they want to be?
Oh yeah, yes. I don't think they're gonna be where they want to be. I don't think not everybody's gonna be where they want to be. I don't know if it's like and that's another thing. I don't know if it's like a heaven and hell. I don't know.
It's definitely
to me the Greeks had a cool. I feel like the Greeks had the coolest idea of the afterlife.
It really.
This is such a heavy subject.
There's
fun.
Some. It's tense.
I can handle the heavy subjects.
It's tense in the room though.
No,
I went to West Virginia. Never been there before. We drove there. It was awful. Took like 30 hours to get there and like 20 hours to get back.
Here's some B-roll, some footage that Colin got.